Are live on YT and oh, come on.
Come on, get live everywhere.
Where's our where's our fans?
Where are you guys broadcasting live from? Now it's the web, it's Facebook.
Facebook.
Two different Facebook, Small Flower and Merz, Twitter,
Okay.
and YouTube are Small Flower TV. Um, all at the same time. So
Okay.
you're a superstar right now.
Wait a sec.
Woohoo!
I'm getting bounced from the Merz Facebook page. Let me work on it. You guys start talking. Say hi.
Okay, hello
All
everybody.
right.
Welcome to Tea Time at the Apothecary. I am TQ. My brother JQ is working on technical difficulties, and I'm very happy.
We're good now.
Okay. Start over.
He's quick. He's quick with that tech stuff. And I'm very happy to introduce Kayla, who is a member of the Merz team for a little over a year now. We're excited to have her, and she's here to drink tea with us and talk. Hi, Kayla.
Hi,
Hi.
Kayla.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah.
As we all take a sip.
Yes. A sip of your delicious tea.
So we're drinking a blend that you made,
I did. It was.
specifically for it's targeting women.
It's
Yes?
women tea, right? A healthy cycle.
So what are you? Is it like? Can I just throw some names? Is there Shepherd's Purse?
No.
There Ladies
So
Mental?
no. It
Oh.
is. It's
None
actually.
none of the ones I'm used to. I'm excited.
So I used to do traditional medicines healthy cycle. So then I just took like their main ones. And also I asked Isabel when she was still here, like her opinion. So there's raspberry leaf,
Nice.
Sure.
nettle, lemon balm, chase tree berry, and fennel.
Nice.
It's a great
fine.
blend. It tastes delicious.
I was going to say, it's really nice tasting tea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
thought
we've
about
been
adding
drinking.
some peppermint.
There's mint too.
I thought about adding some, but I haven't yet.
You know, the nettle kind of brings that already a little bit.
I know I never appreciated nettle before.
Yeah, we've been
talking about it quite a
probably
bit.
been working a lot of times while we're on this call, but we talk about nettle, I would say, every day or every other day, because it's one of those herbs that once you get into teas and Western herbalism, you realize like nettle is powerful stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it also tastes pretty good.
Yeah, it's high in iron and potassium,
Yeah.
which is crazy because you notice a difference, or at least I do, if I start drinking the tea, like even 2 cups, like 5 days before my cycle starts, I notice a huge difference in my mood, in my energy,
That's
which
awesome.
is great because that's just drinking tea and it's more water, which is better for you anyways.
Yeah. Well, I have like a number of thoughts going through my head right now, all of them exciting and good. One is that I'm going to hit you up for some of your blend for my family because, as I mentioned, I grew up the oldest of three boys. I don't think we ever talked about the word cycle or anything because there was no real reason. And now I'm the father of two daughters and married to a woman, and so I have three women in my house, and it's a much bigger topic.
Mm-hmm.
But they could use it, and I think that they would enjoy it. Secondly, is like Merz has some great teas blends that go back, and I know you can talk about that, and we will. But like, why don't we have a blend for this?
Well, I feel like I don't even know if it's as popular across the board, like especially in age groups, until more recently. Like I feel like there's women in my age bracket, like in their 30s, who, or maybe now even 20s, who are looking to do like herbs and things and becoming more aware of like how a healthy cycle and what you can do can help you even later on in life.
Yeah.
So I think the interest.
What is the typical response? Is it just like pop an ibuprofen, or what is the?
I think ibuprofen, I think you're also just kind of told that it's part of the process. Like, oh, you're going to be uncomfortable, or, oh, you're supposed to be PMSy, or, oh, you're, not supposed to sleep well. Or, I think it's just part of this idea that all that is normal. for
Yeah.
5 to 7 days out of the month. I don't think it has to be though.
I think that's a great point. It's just like some of that is conditioning, right? Like what
Right.
you're conditioned to supposed to be is this is normal. And it's like, well, hey, we can do some things about this and mitigate some of this, right?
It's also like proactive. Like don't for me it's like I noticed a difference when I started doing things the week or two before, not waiting until it was bad.
Hmm.
And so now I'm just like trying to train myself. Like
Yeah.
caffeine's a huge one. Like I try to reduce caffeine the week before and it's made a huge difference. Like it was
Really?
something I noticed within 2 months of like trying to switch
And
up.
what is it about that? Is that because the caffeinated drinks are dehydrating, or what is it?
Well, it's technically, you're supposed to watch your sugar and caffeine and alcohol, which alcohol is sugar like the week before. And it says, like, from all the reading, like I've done it, I've noticed that it's those three. They're like, oh, if you watch your intake or cut it out completely, it affects hormones and also affects people who talk about having like back pain or like breast pain.
Yeah.
It reduces that.
That's pretty, that's, it's, I was gonna say, first of all, that's amazing. And it's a really good point. Secondly, I'm always impressed when I talk to people who decide to take matters like what you said about being proactive. I think the larger point, and especially when it comes to hard things like sugar, alcohol, caffeine, I mean, these are sacred issues to some people, many people,
Yeah.
right? But what I was going to say is I'm always impressed when people decide to be proactive about something because it sounds like such a good idea. But I will admit, and I put myself in this category too, although I feel like I've sometimes triumphed over it, is that humans, we're kind of wired to think it's a good idea, but hate actually doing it.
Right. Like I like the way that sounds, but I'm actually not going to participate.
It's like the immediate thing is like, that's great. Oh, it's coming up tomorrow. I'll start that next month, next cycle or next whatever, right?
Yeah, but then if you don't do it, because that's what I find. Like if I drink half a bottle of wine and have a big bottle of like, or a big bowl of pasta, and then drink a ton of coffee, and I know I'm not supposed to be doing that, and then my period comes and I'm sore and I'm bitchy, PMSy. I don't complain about it like as much because I'm like, oh, well, I did it to myself.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I didn't do what I should do. So it's kind of funny because then if you commit to it and you do kind of fall back, there's a little bit of that guilt, like, oh, I know better, then I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just to kind of get a sense of, like I want to say, first of all, if you just joined us and you didn't catch us at the beginning, let me reintroduce everyone. I'm TQ, got my brother JQ. We're doing Tea Time at the Apothecary, which we do every day at noon. And we have today's special guest, Kayla, who is on our team here at Merz and is a budding herbalist. Is maybe I'm going to just throw that out there, my description. But I'm interested in diving into that because, so we're drinking her tea.
Budding is an appropriate word. I like.
Yes.
Yeah, herbs, budding is good, and spring, buds are in the air. But we're drinking your tea, which was made to help you sort of keep your cycle and sort of some of the discomfort and things that come along with that under imbalance. Is that right?
Yeah, just to balance it, feel more comfortable, I guess do something, like we said, proactive.
Yeah. Do you have a name for this tea?
I've just been calling it lady tea.
Lady tea.
Lady tea.
Well, I gotta say, as a non-lady, it's a delicious tea.
It is great. I'm also trying it right now on 2 adult women who are in the middle of their period.
So you're really experimenting right now.
I'm gonna get some real good feedback right now. I have
my are both using it.
And my au pair are both they've cycled up together, because we're all.
Oh, because it's witchcraft. We all do at Merz. We've all started to sync too. You're gonna have a coven of crazy women.
I love my coven. I have 4 crazy women in my house.
There's no comment I am allowed to make as
I love my coven.
this topic. So yes, no, it's my pleasure. But I do want to talk about the fact that, first of all, you've been with us for a year, and you talked about Isabel, who's an herbalist, was on our team, is part of our community, a regular customer. You talked to her about this blend. I'm curious, were you interested in herbs, or is this part of, like, how has that developed since you've been here on our team, and sort of what else in your life might have you come out of the food and hospitality industry as well?
Right.
Is there, I'm just curious to learn how you got here in your interest.
Well, my parents were both big on chiropractic and acupuncture, and they both suffered from vertigo until they started seeing a chiropractor, and have never have suffered from it ever again. And I don't know, I just grew up in a house where it wasn't, if something was wrong, you didn't necessarily take a pill to solve it. It was kind of like a food thing or an herb thing, or
Body
and then a body thing. So that's probably, and then when my mom became a massage therapist, she got even more into herbs and more into essential oils. I mean, I knew about CBD she was using that years ago on patients who had suffered car accidents. She had a patient for many years who was in a helicopter accident.
Wow.
And used CBD as a layering agent along with other herbs and things to help release like muscle tension. And so I think then working here and meeting someone, well, obviously meeting everyone, but Isabel was a great guiding person, because I was kind of nervous about mixing the herbs. Like, what if I don't do something right? She's like, no, have fun with it. Like, just do it. Just try it.
I guess I have a question about that specifically, which is like, do you have it written down and you're like, this much of this, and then you make a big batch and then put it in bags, and then did you adjust that as you were doing it? Like, I think it needs more chaste berry, a little less nettle, whatever, based on taste or based on effect, or both?
So I wanted to just do effect first. So I did parts. So like 1 part this to 2 parts this to a half part this to a quarter part that. And then just I keep it in a glass jar in my cabinet, and then I'll maybe bag up 12 at a time and keep them in like a glass jar, like this old Trader Joe's salsa jar.
We got one at the house and you sent it back. Yeah.
And I just do it that way. And then I was like, oh, I'll try this for a couple months and see if I like the effects, and then kind of play around with the taste.
Cool.
So far the effects have been, I've found, the same as when I was buying the traditional medicines healthy cycle tea. So I might tweak the taste now, but
yeah. I wonder when you're using the chaste tree berries, is it the berries themselves?
It's like they're really tiny.
The little tiny berries.
Little tiny.
I wonder if how the effect, I mean, I don't know if there's any way to measure this, but I wonder if the effect is different because of the quality of the herbs we have here at the store in the bulk are like really, really good quality. And also as opposed to being pulverized into a powder and then sitting around maybe for months, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I was just telling Jonathan when he was setting this up, I love how you can see the teas, like our teas in a bag, and you put it in hot water and how it expands.
Yeah.
And if you open it, you can actually see like the little bits of flowers and leaves.
Yeah.
But and also I'd use like a good tablespoon. I like have a tablespoon. I do like a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half in each bag.
Yeah.
So that way you're really getting like a concentrate.
It's a concentrate.
Yeah,
Not
I saw your bags. I liked it. It was I'm a fan of a generous size portion of tea. Nice bag.
No, I mean that's a serious dose.
Yeah, it's good. When you're at home, will you just use a tea strainer and keep it loose just to save the not using bags, or what is that?
I'll try to use the little ball. Like I bought the large straining ball that we sell here, and then I have a smaller one, and I'll use that. But if I'm giving it to someone, I'll try to bag them.
Yeah.
And then I just keep it in. So far, I've only had 2 blends I've messed around with, and I just keep them in the glass jars. And I try not to do too much at a time. Like I'll
Yeah.
maybe do like a month's worth at a time.
That's great.
And then you said the other blend you were telling me earlier is what, like your relaxing blend?
Yeah, like a calming blend. But the
Nice.
flavor on that, because hibiscus leaves, I love hibiscus, but it can be overpowering
Yeah.
a little bit in tea form. So that one has like hibiscus, fennel, lemon balm, nettle. So I have to, but the taste is like a little off.
But lemon balm and nettle, sort of it's the Kayla, the heart of your
I
formulation. So
know.
like a
Well,
theme.
I'm too scared to use valerian because it's so stinky.
It's true.
It's not fun to drink, I can tell you.
Yeah. Um, so I want to say hi to a few people because there's some people joining. John, good to see you again. Thank you. Chester, Steve, we got Steve joining us. Good to see you, brother.
He was up late with me last night, so
Nice. And Tracy Kellner, long time no see, Tracy. Looking forward to working
hey,
again. She likes your hair, Jeffrey.
that makes one of us.
Yeah. And Mary Josephine, thank you for joining us. And Dana's on the call, checking in on her colleague Kayla, see how it's going.
She ratted me out. This is the reason I'm here.
I know.
You know, this tea, I know that it's like specifically designed for cycle support, but I mean, I was up very late and I woke up early and I'm just like a little like kind of groggy today. I also had to go to the grocery store this morning. Right now, the grocery store is a bit of a headache in itself, you know? And I was coming back with kind of a headache and started drinking it and I'm feeling like really nice. Like I can feel the tension relieving around my temples and it's lovely. So
I mean, the lemon balm and the nettle is great for everyone.
Yeah.
But even the raspberry leaf is so high in antioxidants. It's so good for blood vessels. So it's good for men and women.
that's
So I
great.
feel like the only other thing, like the chase tree, is the berries is really specific to women's health.
Yeah.
And then fennel is great for bloating and digestive issues, but also anyone would benefit from that too.
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
everyone should just be getting fennel all the time. Man.
and well, I'm big. I want to talk about a few of the other teas that you've tried here because I have some favorites. Like I know you've talked to. I'm sure you've heard Abdul talk about it, like our anise fennel caraway blend from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
That tea is like a magical tea for anybody with digestive discomforts. Germans traditionally make that tea and then dilute it and give it to babies for dealing with colic. We recommend it for nursing mothers because the benefit seems to pass through the milk for the babies who are, who are nursing for colic. Fennel is one of those magic things that I feel like you don't even have to have noticeable digestive discomfort to feel the beneficial effects of a relaxation of a digestive system. Does that make sense?
And sometimes it's just water retention that it helps release too. It's just like you're drinking too much water, you have too much excess water in your body, and it just helps. I love our liver and gallbladder tea.
Yeah.
I have that one at home.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the very first blend I bought from here. That was the first one I tried.
Well, and so if you don't mind me asking, what made you pick that one out? Was it just the idea of general detoxing, or was it for a specific purpose, or how did you discover that one? Because not everyone's first choice when they think about tea, but I think it's a great one.
As I'm aging myself, as I've noticed, as I've gotten into like closer to my mid 30s, that my body just doesn't process alcohol the same way. So it's like, and I was really wondering if it had to do with age or it had to do with hormones or just had to do with like needing a little bit of a detox. But I mean, I could go out, especially working in the restaurant industry, you can go out and have like a bottle of wine with friends at dinner and not even think about it.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, a couple glasses, if I drink 2 glasses of wine and I haven't eaten dinner yet, I was starting to feel a little bit. And so obviously working at Merz, it gave me an opportunity to kind of try some things out. And I noticed right away doing the liver detox, I was like, oh, I just needed to detox my liver a little bit to kind of get some more water, to kind of, cut back on alcohol as I've gotten older. It just be more conscientious of my body's reaction to it,
Yeah.
which, in itself is a whole thing as you get older, as your body changing. But that, and honestly, just drinking it in between meals. I don't know if it's like the process of making tea, but it just like it's kind of therapeutic. It's like a little bit of like a mantra or a little meditation.
For
It's very
sure, the
calming.
ritual itself, we talk about it a lot, but the ritual itself is sort of a meditative exercise, and it forces you to just stop and breathe and wait for a second, and then it's hot, so you have to like sit there and sip it, and you're thinking
Hmm.
only about sipping tea. You're like very, very open, but not forcing anything. That's a nice exercise in and of itself, I think.
Yeah. And I would say that one of the best benefits of doing this tea time with Jay is um, it's so for me, I would say I'm at work. It's not always the ritual of making the tea, although at home it's definitely a ritual for me. Because I was saying it's not as much of a ritual when you go push the two buttons on the hot water
Yeah.
dispenser. The romance is not there, but just taking the time to do it and taking this time, it's like we did it for business reasons, for fun, for whatever, but it's also just like this great reality check in the middle of the day of like, I like meditating, and I would say it's similar. It's like, remember, is anything really an emergency right now? Is anything really gonna like is I at least tend to work and feel sometimes like I've got to do this, I got to do that. Oh, downstairs they need this, and it's true, and I want to help everyone, but a lot of it is just remembering the problems will still be there, and you can only do one thing at a time. So let me enjoy this moment and then move on to the next one. Do you know what I mean? And tea is somehow has all those lessons in its process. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's like you can only do one thing, only do so many things at a time. So like with tea, it's kind of like, at least for me, it's nice. It's like you have to mix it, and then you're bagging it, and then you're giving it to someone who then is going to have to take the time to like put it, do the water, wait for it, strain it, drink it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was last week when I opened up some bags to do tea time here, and I was like, what am I going to do with all these boxes of bags? So I just walked around to everyone downstairs and was like, anyone want a triple lemon tea? And people who don't normally drink tea were like, yeah. And like we had the whole shipping team, all of customer service, half the people in front, all drinking tea at the same time. And I was like,
This is
this
a
just
shared experience right here.
this
Yeah.
feels good, feels really good. Um,
Do you
yeah.
steep it? Do you steep it twice, or just because you do an extra long steep? Probably just once, then, huh?
Yeah, I do 10 minutes. I try not to do super boiling hot water.
Yeah.
But then that's the other thing, like talking to Isabel, some herbs aren't meant to be steeped that long. Some are, that was like lavender. Lavender is not meant to be
It
steeped
goes
super
bitter though.
hot.
Yeah.
Right. So I haven't added it to this because I want to have a long steep. But I know then you start to get into a whole new, like a whole nother world. Like the
There's some
bronchial.
that when Dad wrote the original instructions on the back of the tea, it says to use boiling water, and then there are
Hmm.
others that don't say that. It's like you, in order to get the medicinal properties out of this herb, you need to boil this sucker. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like the bronchial tea, the cough and bronchial tea says something like that. Like
Yeah, it does. And
hot water, drink
part of that
warm.
is getting out because there's like some roots and stuff in there, and you're not doing a decoction of it, so you want it as hot as possible to pull as much as
Hmm.
possible from it. But also, the hotter the water, the better for your chest anyway. So I
Yeah.
think it's like a double bonus, right?
Um, yeah. To take this in a beverage tea direction, I am a huge green tea fan. And I will, if you think that it doesn't matter whether your water boils or not, that's not true. Like there's a vast difference in the how much. Like my favorite tea is jasmine green, which are the one we have here at Merz. I love it. I've been drinking it for probably 10 years, and it's my favorite tea in the world. But jasmine is another, it's a flower, right? So it's like, you don't want to boil the hell out of that. The jasmine kind of goes away. The green tea becomes bitter and slightly metallic. But when you keep it under boiling, um,
It's very round and beautiful.
it
Yeah.
becomes aromatic and beautiful. And like, to me, it's like drinking wine or talking about drinking wine. It's like you smell all these nuanced, aromas and tastes. I love it. So I'm a huge fan in sort of slowing down. I mean, doing less than boiling. But obviously, when you do have berries and roots, sometimes you want it to be.
Seems to me, T, like you should have a bulk available blend for cycle support.
Well, that was kind of what I was starting to say. Is that, Kayla, why don't we have it? And are you interested in contributing your knowledge to making a Merz blend? Because I'm sure we can come up with one, but you've been doing this work, so.
I definitely think that it's something that we should have because, like I said, the ones that you would get pre-packaged, like traditional medicines, and those might be great for traveling or like real quick on the go. But I feel like people who want to buy it in bulk, you just get so much more benefit. Just
Yeah.
not even the cost, but having a bulk at home, it's more likely I feel that you would drink 3 cups a day.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Maybe
Yeah.
we have to think of a better name though than lady tea, and then maybe have to come up with just like a human blend
Yeah,
that has like so, just so
that's
everyone
really
feels comfortable.
I like cycle support. I think it's kind of cool. It's a little.
Traditional medicines might sue us. I think that's
Is
the
that what
name
it's
of
called?
theirs. I think so.
Yeah.
yeah. I know what you mean about lady tea, but I think we have to work that on the label somehow.
Yeah.
Plus, there's
Lady T, like in
homage to
quotes.
you if we're going to do this.
Hmm.
But yes, we can brainstorm this. So this
What
is
if
a
we just
solvable.
call it Kayla's Lady Tea?
Oh no, my name cannot be associated.
Lisa is listening right now or watching. I'm not sure, but she's said I'm in. I think
Yes.
I think we should carry cramp bark. Yeah,
Yes.
yes. Let's consider that on the list to source. I don't think that's a problem. And yeah, we should make a blend. And then I love your idea. We should just make a tea for humans.
Just like a relaxing, everyday drinkable tea.
Yeah, all around well-being, whatever for everybody.
Like a daily tonic tea? That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
That's a good name.
really good idea.
Maybe we'll call it moon tea for like the hormones, like female cycle, like moon cycle.
Yeah, I'm all about getting into a little bit of the sort of natural, mystical, pagan side of things.
Yes.
Yeah,
Appeal to all those millennials.
yeah. Um, so I'm just curious because to go on a little bit of a tangent right now. How are you finding working during these times, and just sort of like how are you feeling in general? You and I see each other behind masks, and we say hello, every day or something like that, but we don't always get to talk to each other. And in general, like I don't even talk to many people about this. Like, how are you feeling? It's a weird time in the world.
It is, but it all kind of like happens in phases. Like I've had a lot of people refer to it in like stages of grief.
Yeah.
So I think I'm getting to a point now where I have to, and it's not my Libra nature. Like I'm an overthinker by nature. I tend to be like an over planner and plotter. But the more I fight it, the less comfortable I get and the more anxious I get. And
Yeah.
so the more I'm just, I don't know what that is. But yeah, the more I just kind of trying to go with the flow,
Yeah.
I'm feeling more calm.
That's,
Um,
I didn't realize you were a Libra.
Yes. I'm pretty true to it too. But
My-
like I don't know, being here, it's not the job. I almost think I went through a little bit of a grieving process. I had to because I came back and that's not what I was doing before. Oh, that's not what the store looked like before. Or, oh, that's not where we put that. But for me personally, I just had to kind of grieve the position I had before and embrace what we're doing now, and then be open to what things will be like in the future.
That's really well said. I agree with everything you said. I feel like it's been a grieving process for me as well, and I feel like you just roll with it. And yeah, I'm very sympathetic for our whole team, and myself included. It's like, this isn't the job I thought I was doing, but I'm trying to find joy and purpose and a lot of gratitude that we're able to do a job right now.
Yeah, that's the other big. I mean, it was only, I had my 1 year. Jonathan told me May 6th. I've been working here 1 year. But when I first started, I was just still working as a server. And then before that, I was working back of house.
Yeah.
But I keep thinking, I made the transition to full time in October.
Yeah.
And like how different my life would have been if I hadn't decided to let go of that early retirement from that career for a little while.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who are in the industry and they just, it's hard for them. And it's hard for me to watch them without that sense of security.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in that industry. I know Jay does as well, being in the acting and music, the creative, in the arts. Obviously, there's a huge overlap with the hospitality industry, and it's major pain for a lot of people. So if you are one of those people, yeah, we're with you and, thinking about you and certainly understand that it's not an easy time.
Yeah.
Jacob Bonilla said, I guess he probably referring to the everyday tea to time of day instead of time of month, which I like that.
Time of the time of
the time, what?
Time of the day, time
of the day, yeah, instead of time of the month. That's great.
I like actually for the cycle one, you can call it time of the tea.
Moon time. I'll have to add time to it.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Tea white.
Yeah. Yeah. This is we might have to do some formulating on air sometime. It would be fun to show, like, actually go over to Lisa's station and look at some of the mixtures being made, to the tea department. It'd be great.
It is cool to see all of that, all of those plants and all of those barks and all of those berries, especially for me when I lay them out.
Yeah.
And make little piles and kind of just like get in there.
Yeah.
It's super fun. I will always, as a kid growing up in that store, and running upstairs was the first thing I would do since I was 3 years old and that store opened. I would just like run as fast as I could from one end and then all the way to the other, and then open up a bin and smell it. And I was like, oh, what is this? And then I would have Dad walk me around and tell me which ones I could eat a little bit of or whatever. Like it was funny. And so many great, amazing people have been the tea filler job, including my Aunt Joanne. And now it's Lisa, but there's been many people in between, before Aunt Joanne and after Aunt Joanne, and I was that person actually for a better part of a year after we didn't have someone to fill it in.
Yeah.
See, I always, before I ever even was introduced to Lisa or like actually had a conversation with her, I had this like matriarch vision of like who she was. She was like, Lisa, she does the tea. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I just like imagined her like mixing and just like a vision of like Mother Earth just like doing this thing.
There's definitely an authority that comes with that job. That you're sort of making magic for a lot of people.
The store is 145 years old, and there's like, because there's so many just like things around. Lisa says it's very witchy up in my station. No pointy hat though.
You need one.
There's like so many things around, and things tend to just like fall in that store, like with
Because
nobody
it's
around.
haunted.
Yeah, well, that's what we always, when I worked in the front with Lori, we used to say like, it's haunted, and that every time something would fall, we would go, Mrs. Novak.
Yeah,
And
she was
Mrs.
the
Novak
original
was
tea
the
filler.
original tea lady who lived upstairs. I mean, who worked upstairs, yeah.
Yeah, she was awesome.
So anytime anything moves over there, Kayla, you can always thank Mrs. Novak.
We always make up stories about who it could be, or especially now having people who work here who do energy work.
Yeah.
That's even more because I can remember Shannon coming back from the lunchroom upstairs and the lights had been off. And she was like, I felt this presence. And she's
Wow.
like very in tune.
Yeah,
And
she's
then
an
as
intuitive,
she
yeah.
says that, I'm standing restocking the candy and the chandelier above just starts swaying. And I'm just like, all right. So
Yeah,
we like went around and sprayed everybody with that Zoom frankincense and myrrh,
yeah.
like room spray. We're just like, everyone don't take any bad spirits home. Just like
This
spraying
is,
each other.
I didn't know that spray works for that. That's awesome.
I hope it does. I couldn't.
That's like the mist version of like blood on your door or something. Like,
If I could have, I would have like we would have been running around with sage.
Yeah. You're sort of bringing up, it's not quite the same, but I was going to say, when you talked about, Jay, your stories of running around the store, and Kayla, like the sort of magic of it. For years, since I can remember, we've had people come in saying, I wish we could like make a fragrance that is the smell of Merz. And they're always like, what is it? And I'm like, I
you
don't.
should just go sit in my car.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, my car smells like it if I pull it into the garage here at Merz, which now I don't really have a car of my that I have anymore, but so I miss that. But what I was gonna say is that it's a combination. So much of it is the herbs. Like, yes, it's the soaps and it's the fragrances we carry and everything like that. But really, what I try to tell people is like the only way to get that is to have like thousands and thousands of pounds of herbs in big drums inside the building. And like, that's the base layer. Then you have to put all the stuff on top, right?
Right.
So, because you know it, like once you're here, you don't smell it very much. But then like if I go home and I smell my shirt like an hour later, I'm like, whoa, smells like Merz. And it's like this herby sort of magic scent, right?
I didn't even know I smelled that way until I went to the little wine shop around the corner,
Yeah.
Augusta, after work. And I was like, oh, I work at Merz. He's like, oh, I could tell when you walked in.
I
And I
know
was
that's
like,
so true.
and he's like, no, it's you just smell very like woodsy and florally. He's like, it's not a bad thing. And I was
Yeah.
like, I smell?
Yeah. Hey, thankfully, it's good, right?
Well, it's better than
If you work
smelling
in
like
a-
grease.
But yeah, exactly. Grease. Or
Kitchen grease. Yeah.
Yeah.
if we only sold valerian, that would not be something people would run away
I would argue though that the scent would not be the same without valerian. And
It's
like
true.
percent agree.
just like great perfumes have sometimes an undernote of something that you would not want by itself, but it rounds out the whole thing and gives you a really amazing balanced smell to the whole place. And Dad, it's barely a smell that I can smell anymore because to me it just smells like baseline. Like I love it. That just smells like home. That meant Dad was home from work when we were kids, and then it meant you were home. Then it meant I was home from work, and now it means Greta's back from work.
It's
And
totally crazy. I never
so
thought.
for 40 years I've been smelling that smell. It's not even a smell. It is a sensation that is beyond smell,
Yeah, yeah.
I just wonder though if the scent would even if you could bottle it, I don't think it would translate on the skin the way it does in the air.
I
Because you
reached
always
out.
like your scent changes what a perfume
Yeah,
smells
I
like.
know, I know. I reached out to like this like super high tech lab, like two of them, to see if they would come in and assay. They can take an air sample and like assay it, and then we could see if we could recreate it with fragrance. But they were like, we're not. You don't have enough money to do that.
They were like, you'd break our machine. There'd be so many things like
Yeah.
going off.
Yeah. Someday. I still have that. That's always in the back of my head. Like, the nature of technology is the price comes down over time. And as we grow, at some point our ability to afford to do this and we'll meet the downward slope of the affordability and we'll just go for it. And
we talked about
it. It'll be a bust, but maybe it'll be the best scent in the world.
We talked about doing it for and then having our own fragrance that we could then do soaps, we could do fragrance, we could do beard oil, we could do all our products with that fragrance, and we have a good name for it already, which is Lakeview 0814, right? Which is the old phone number back when phone numbers were like an area and 4 numbers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, when you
have to call the operator and say, "Give me Lakeview 0814." So.
Yeah.
And if you look on the back of some of the bottles that are behind the register, it says like, Merz and Sons, and then it says Lakeview 0814 is still the phone number on those bottles.
You guys should set a marker for yourself and pick like a year, like our something anniversary, and that's going to be like your deadline to release. Then you release it.
2025, 150.
Yes.
That's the one.
All right, that's it. Deal.
Greta,
you guys have
mark
5 years
on the calendar. She's very organized. Well, that'll make sure it happens. Kayla, that's a great idea. I like it. Let me see. Mary Josephine saying Palo Santo for cleansing. We sell Palo Santo, the sticks, and it's awesome. I'm a big fan of Palo Santo. And Kristen Lee is in support of the Merz fragrance idea. So, and Greta, I think, just entered in the calendar. Probably invited us to it already.
The unveiling of the new signature scent in 5 years.
You guys can start the waiting list now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hot ticket. Get in for the unveiling party.
There won't be parties anymore. Remember?
Oh yeah. No, there won't.
In 5 years.
It'll be a gathering of only 10, actually. So it's going to be really expensive.
Dude, I'm talking about the smell-o-vision call we're gonna have.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, you didn't say. I thought we were talking about a Zoom meeting. You were talking about a Gigablorp meeting? Oh, yeah. That'll be invented in 3 years, and then the scent will be ready in 5.
Smell-o-vision will happen.
Yeah, Gigablorp smell-o-vision. Yeah.
I hope that you guys are thoughtful about where you're placing the scent release, because I don't want to be looking at this camera and have like something spray me in the eyes that I'm supposed to be like, here, smell this.
No, it'll definitely have to be sort of like Dolby surround smell.
Your laptop will come with,
Scratch and sniff. I love those scratch and sniff stickers when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. That would be cool if you had a scratch and sniff on each herb canister, like so you'd know what it was like,
I had the idea yesterday because I was reading all these new books with my kids for their birthdays. And I think I'm going to write it. It's a little rhyming Merz children's book. And it rhymes, and it has little people picking up like lemon balm to help them because they need to calm down. Like the little things, and the little story is like a different customer picking up a different thing for them. So like because my kids are always like, "Can you put lavender on my temples before I go to bed?" I'm like, this is like awesome,
Yeah, Jay, that would it would be a great kids book to get your kids into herbs, but it would also be just an amazing training material. Like I would like that, right? Yeah. I would read it every day just to remind myself all the herbs. I know lemon balm and lavender, but there's plenty that I'm like, wait, which one is for that again? Or what is that used for? That'd be great.
I've got snozzberry. Yeah. Exactly. Snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
Put that on Lisa's list.
Kayla, well, who knew that you were not only going to come on this show and teach us about your blend and talk about sort of your lady tea, but we were going to have like a brainstorming and come up with like 3 to 5 awesome ideas that are scheduled between now and 2025.
You guys have publicly now put a deadline on the Merz scent. So congratulations.
Kristen said, like, the rad ideas are flowing today.
Yes. The job, again, so you can fully support. We'll take emotional support in the meantime, but we fully support all you and anybody else who, is eager to get a job again, getting one. So in the meantime, join us for some tea. I want to thank Kayla for taking time out of your busy day.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us and
for talk with us.
Thanks for having me.
Education and the info on these teas. And why don't we why don't we make why don't we have her formula, make one canister of it, and let's give away one of those
Yeah, are
today.
you open to that, Kayla?
Yeah.
We'll spot you some herbs and you can mix up a little
Yeah.
batch for we'll give it away to someone who's shown us some love on any of the channels.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be great.
And
Um,
then yeah, give us your feedback and whoever gets that, and then also hopefully that becomes a tea that we just start to carry. I mean,
yeah,
this is an old apothecary, and a lot of the formulas, to answer your question, T, the reason we haven't had one is probably because there's been a dude behind the counter for 145 years, you know? So, prioritizing that as an issue for people is something we should put in and make part of the legacy while we are part of this store.
amen. Amen to that. And well, I think, let's be honest, that's been a theme throughout all of human health right now, is the realization that like everything was baselined against a man, right? So let's do our part, at least in teas and what we can do here at Merz to reverse
Agreed.
that sort of legacy and sort of bring a little more attention to everybody rather than just sort of one supposed baseline that's not based on humanity.
Beautiful. Let's end it there. That was gorgeous.
Yes.
All right.
Hey,
Love you
speaking of
all.
humanity, I do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk about it more later this week, but right now on Small Flower, we are doing something really cool, which I'm very proud of, and I know Greta is too, and a lot of our team has been proud of it. Is that we are donating a bar of soap during May for every order placed on Small Flower. We're donating a bar of soap to a community service agency in Chicago that is in need, where people are in need. So we've already partnered with some really cool places. On Friday, we're going to be talking to Common Pantry because we gave them a bunch of soaps. That's a food shelter here on the north side of Chicago. There's some other awesome organizations we'll tell you more about. But if you're thinking about making a purchase, now would be a great time because you're going to get, I think at the end of this, my guess is we're going to give somewhere between like $20,000 and $40,000 retail value of soap away to people who need it, which is, I'm pretty happy about that.
That's awesome.
So
That's great.
So this is
Speaking of humanity.
definitely the month to buy Evan Healy, and it gives somebody some free soap, right?
totally. And we have some free gifts going right now too, I think, for purchases. So like you can like triple value, a couple things for yourself and help other people as well. So
Kayla, great conversation. Thanks for having
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
yeah, thank you.
me. Hey, everybody.
Let's do it again. All right. Thanks, Kayla. Have a great day.